you can't do this. You can't do this and wipe out a family in the name of SIR because you have to close it off in a week or 2 weeks. When the reality came in, it was frankly completely right. It was to the point of being gutted.
தீர விசாரிக்காம டெத்துன்னு போட்டிருக்காங்க. எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப மனசுக்கு வேதனையாக இருக்குது.
I would blame the rushed process of the SIR. I would have been okay if it was shifted, but closing it off like as death, that kind of brings in a whole new dimension.
The Special Intensive Revision or the SIR has removed 97.37 lakh voters from the draft electoral roll in Tamil Nadu. The large number of deletions has brought the total electorate from 6.41 crore to 5.43 crore. Deaths, absence or house shifting and duplications are cited to be the reasons for the deletions. Deaths resulted in 26.9 lakh removals. Absence or house shifting caused 66.4 lakh deletions, while duplicate entries resulted in the removal of 3.98 lakh voters. However, the number seems to be surreal, and we have reasons to believe so. We traced a family of 4 near Tambaram in Chennai. They are in sheer disbelief after getting to know the reason for their omission. Believe it or not, the Election Commission has proclaimed all of them dead. Venkat Bhaskar is a senior IT professional working with an MNC. He lives with his wife and parents at Madambakam in Tambaram Corporation. All the 4 eligible voters are now out of the voters list.
I'm Venkat. I'm a senior IT professional in an MNC, and I'm around 49 years old. I live with my parents, my dad, mom, and my wife, along with 2 kids who are now into college. And this home in Madambakam, we have been living pretty much from 2016, and we've been having our Aadhaar card and ration cards as well as my driving license on this address. And unfortunately, the voter ID, that was the only thing that was in my previous address, which was a couple of blocks away in Rajgilpakam. And it's not even a kilometer away from my older address, and then I shifted here because my parents were getting old and I want to live with them, so kind of having a single larger home where they can live with us in the ground floor and we can live in the first floor. So that was the reason for shifting. And we've been voting last almost every election, right? I can recollect, except when I was on business travel. We have been voting as a family, and we've been using our voter ID card and then the FIL numbers, which we had no issues with so far until the SIR revision in the recent 2025-26 survey.
In fact, the booth level officer or BLO had visited Venkat's house for verification. Venkat was not at home at that time. His parents informed the BLO that their voter ID card had the address of their old home, which is hardly 1 kilometer away.
One day, the officers had come to my home here in Madambakam, and I was, of course, myself and my wife being working professionals, we were not there. My parents were there. They gave the details of the residence. The residence, being owned residence, had all the granite enslaving of our names, including my parents, all the details to kind of have a hard evidence that this address belongs to so and so persons. And when they checked, when they gave all the details, the BLO explained that apparently the address in the voter card is from previous, the Rajgilpakam residence, which was a couple of blocks away from our place, and the update would have to be done there. In fact, my brother, he was working from home that day, along with my parents, had tried to convince the BLO that all four of us are pretty much here in the Madambakam residence, and it is just a shift from one place to another, and this should have been just taken care with a simple address shift conclusion. But the BLO had apparently gone at that time and asked me to reach out to him. So I did reach out to him. That was on 21st of November. As soon as my brother shared these details, I reached out to the BLO, Mr. Saravanan, and I gave him my FIL numbers of all the four members in the family, and was checking about how we can get this sorted out and make sure that I'm not losing my voting right. He said it's not going to be a problem. I should be able to get this revised. Once the SIR revision is published, I will be having a window to make the revisions, because it is a minor change of address and should not be a real issue. So I was waiting for that. There was some delays in the SIR revision publishing, but I was not really worried at that time, because I had the documents and I've been living, this is my permanent home, and everything is in place to kind of prove that I'm here.
When Venkat checked the draft electoral roll on Saturday, he was in for a huge shock.
When the reality came in, it was frankly completely right. It was to the point of being gutted. I could not, in fact, sleep yesterday till around midnight after coming from office and all the tensions of the work. I still tried to do these changes last night till around 12:31. In fact, had a very fitful sleep because of that, because it is one thing someone closing your key documents as shifted, whereas something like this, right, you don't expect like someone to just close you off, right, like finishing off. So that is kind of like, even though there is a smile on the face, it's more of a sad smile rather than right, anything, but it's an emotion, right? It's, you can't do this and wipe out a family in the name of SIR because you have to close it off in a week or 2 weeks.
Venkat's mother, 75-year-old Srimati, too is disturbed.
தீர விசாரிக்காமல் என்னன்னாக்கா டெத்துன்னு போட்டிருக்காங்க. எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப மனசுக்கு வேதனையாக இருக்குது. அதனாக்கா நாங்கள் எப்படி இந்த இது மறுபடியும் இது பண்ணி தரணும் எங்களுக்கு.
I asked Venkat what could be the reason for the BLO to make such a grave mistake.
I would blame the rushed process. So there is a process of SIR, and in fact, when I spoke to the BLO, he was also of the same opinion that because of the timelines, there has been a lot of pressure to close the cases. So someone is not available at their home, instead of finding out where they have been, and possibly if it is just a couple of blocks, like in my case, they could have as well hardly traveled half a kilometer and reached the new place to confirm, which would have just sorted out everything. There is overall rush to kind of complete the processes, and once you start rushing, you start making mistakes, and that is where this entire thing collapses. Like people being closed out as by death when it would have been a mere shift, and which could have been sorted out easily had they just did a little more analysis or follow-ups.
Venkat has been calling people to find a way out. He even contacted the BLO in my presence. Let's listen to the BLO's reply.
சார், அந்த இது வந்து இப்போது ராஜகில் பாக்கம்ல இங்கே மாடம்பாக்கம் ஷிஃப்ட் ஆனது, நீங்கள் வந்து அது மாற்றிடலாம், ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்காது அப்படின்னீங்கள ஃபார்ம் 6. எனக்கு வந்து நேற்று வந்து இந்த ரோல் ரிவிஷன் ஆனப்போ வந்து ஷிஃப்டட்னு வராமல் டெத்துன்னு வந்திருக்கு.
இல்லை சார், என்ன உங்களோட இது டெத்துன்னு வந்திருக்கு.
எனக்கு, என் ஒய்ஃப்க்கு, என்னோட அப்பா அம்மா 2 பேர், மொத்தத்தில் 4 பேரும் ஃபேமிலியில் வந்து டெத்துன்னு வந்து அப்டேட் ஆகிருக்கு ஸ்டேட்டஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ அதான் கொஞ்சம் ஷாக்கிங்காக இருக்குது. இப்போ வந்து என்னென்னா, அந்த ஃபார்ம் 6 வந்து இப்போ டெத்துன்னா அது வந்து அப்டேட் பண்ணவும் அந்த டிக்ளரேஷனில் வந்து விட மாட்டேங்குது. நான் என்ன பண்ணுறதுன்னு புரியல சார்.
இருக்கிற இஷ்யூ சொல்லிடுறேன் சார். ஆக்சுவலாக இதில் வந்து நம்ம ஹலோ சார் கேக்குதா?
கேக்குது சார். கேக்குது, நீங்க சொல்லுங்க.
சார் சார் மொத்தம் 3 ஆப்ஷன் கொடுத்திருந்தாங்க சார். நம்ம ஃபார்ம்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம கார்ப்பரேஷன் ஆபீஸ்ல தான் அனுப்புறோம்.
ஓகே.
டெத், ஷிஃப்டட், ஆப்சென்ட்னு போடுறாங்க சார்.
ஓகே.
இது எமர்ஜென்சியா க்ளோஸ் பண்ணதால மேபி டிஃபிகல்டிஸ் டெத்னு போட்டிருப்பாங்க சார். இது வந்து ஒரி பண்ணிக்காதீங்க. நீங்க மாடம்பாக்கத்துல நீங்க போய் ஃபார்ம் 6 கொடுத்து நீங்க சேர்த்துங்க சார். ஹலோ.
ஓகே. சொல்லுங்க.
அதுக்கு உண்டான ஹெல்ப் நான் கண்டிப்பா பண்ணி தரேன் சார்.
ஓகே. ஓகே.
நீங்க வந்து லோக்கல்ல பக்கத்து வீட்ல மட்டும் எந்த டீச்சர் மட்டும் கேட்க சொல்லுங்க சார். நான் அவங்களுக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணி வித் ரெஃபரன்ஸோட அவங்க கிட்ட நான் இந்த பிரச்சனையை நான் சொல்லி நான் உங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ண சொல்றேன் சார்.
இல்லை, ஏன்னா டெத்துனால தான் எனக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. சரி, ஓகே. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து அந்த மாத்திரலாங்கிறீங்க நீங்க.
இந்த மாதிரி இஷ்யூஸ் வந்து உங்களுக்கு மட்டும் இல்ல சார். ஷிஃப்டட் போட்டவங்க நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு சார். ஓகே. ஆல்மோஸ்ட் நானே ஒரு 4-5 பேருக்கு பேசிட்டேன் சார். அவங்க எல்லாருமே அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க சார். நீங்க 5வது ஆகல. ஓகே. தப்பு நடந்திருக்குதான். ஆனா ஷிஃப்டடுக்கு பதிலா டெத் தப்பா போட்டிருக்காங்க.
அதுதான் சார், எனக்கு இப்போ வந்து அதை மாற்றவும் முடியல. ஆன்லைனில் நான் ட்ரை பண்ணேன், இதை மாற்றவும் வர மாட்டேங்குது. அதான் நான் இன் ட்ரபிள் நவ்.
டீச்சர் மட்டும் கேளுங்க சார். நான் கேட்டுட்டு லைன்ல வரேன் சார் எந்த டீச்சர்ன்ட்டு.
சரி, ஓகே. ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே சார். நான் அது கண்டிப்பா ஹெல்ப் பண்ணி தரேன் சார். அதுக்கு திருப்பி சேர்க்கிறதுக்கு.
ஓகே. ஓகே.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார்.
I traveled to Venkat's old home to check whether the election commission officials had visited that place. Venkat has rented out the house and his tenant told me that no one from the commission came asking for his landlord.
அந்த எஸ்ஐஆர் படிவத்தை வந்து வெங்கட் சார் நேமை வச்சு அவங்க ஃபேமிலி எங்கே இருக்காங்கன்னு சொல்லி கார்பரேஷன்லேருந்தும் அந்த கார்பரேஷன் ஒர்க்கர்ஸோ யாரும் வந்து இங்கே வந்து கேட்கவும் இல்லை, ஃபார்ம்ஸ் கொடுக்கவும் இல்லை. அதுதான் நடந்துச்சு. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு வந்து வீட்லையும் கேட்டுட்டேன், அப்படி யாரும் வந்து விசிட் பண்ணலன்னு தான் எனக்கு ஃபீட்பேக் கொடுத்தாங்க. நானும் இருந்தேன் லாஸ்ட் மந்த் ஃபுல்லாகவே 2 months வீட்டில் தான் இருக்கிறேன். யாருமே அப்படி விசிட் பண்ணவும் இல்லை.
Venkat vows to go to any length to get his name included in the voters list because he considers voting as a duty of every Indian citizen.
I plan to talk to the teacher, or rather the person who came for this area. So I need to, as per the BLO's suggestion, I'll talk to him or her and see whether I can give the form 6 or a form 8 in person and ensure that I'm able to get that. Of course, I cannot take my parents along because they being 85 plus and very aged. I hope they are able to, at least with our documents and the documents that I share, including my father's government ID cards and so on, they are able to make this change done more easier. Otherwise, I need to probably convey my experience at all levels possible so that this entire thing is being done in a more humane way rather than rushing up and committing errors like this.
But what worries Venkat is another issue. If a tech-savvy person like him would end up in such a dilemma, what would be the fate of less privileged voters?
Being IT savvy, I could easily get the URLs, check the statuses, talk to the people, get their numbers, talk to the people, and if such a thing happens to someone like me who have been on top of these, checking out and making sure getting clarifications or assurances that everything will be okay and it's going to be a simple change. So if someone like me can be trumped up and gutted to say, I'm literally afraid of someone who doesn't have this kind of tech savviness or who is not able to check up. Old people, in fact my dad, he cannot travel out, so like these old aged people who cannot be going and checking all these things, or people who are not that IT savvy that they go check up URLs, fill up OTPs and get statuses and give corrections and all that. It's really shuddering to think what will be the real impact, right, when it comes to actual voters. It should not be a hurdle jump, and it should be more, the system should be more easier, more beneficial for the general humanity, right, as citizens, rather than being a hurdle race or a hurdle jump, right? Like whoever can finish the hurdles can claim and get their votes. So that is not the case. That should not be the case. And if we are going to be a Vikshit India or digital India, digital first India, we should not be having these problems. The citizens should be able to use these services more easily and not get bogged down.
It is the question we also would like to ask. What would be the fate of thousands of people from marginalized and low-income groups who have been removed from the rolls? Let's hope the Election Commission and the political parties would take the issue seriously. Else, millions of Indians will be disenfranchised and it will jeopardize India's democracy.